Hello and welcome. My name is Ellie Drew. I am a clairvoyant researcher, and what this means is that all through my life I have had inner teachers. I'm a visionary. I see things, I hear things by sound. And pretty soon people wanted to hear what I was hearing. They wanted to know what the teachings were that I was getting. For the most part, it had been my private life. My entire life, it had been my private life until 2003. When I had a dead guy start talking to me. That changed everything. It created panic attacks for me. It's a really long story, so I'm not going to go into that now. But suffice it to say that it changed my life. And in the changing of my life, I started to do readings for people because people thought if I have this connection between the spirit world and here, that maybe they could ask me questions. And so I started to give people readings. And I didn't want to give people readings. Actually, this one woman had asked me 9-10 times if I would give her a reading, and I kept saying no. And actually, on one of those last times, the spirits behind me, invisible to me, someone yelled at me, "Give that woman a reading." And I turned around and I looked behind me and there was no one there. I ended up giving this woman a reading. And I started to learn things as a result of giving people readings. One of the first questions that people would always ask me is, what is my life purpose? And I would say to them, I don't know what your life purpose is, but I'll go ask. And so I would sink in, surrender. I would ask the question, I would get information, and I would pass that information out. And so my entire life has been a process of having a question, not going out there seeking for it. I always go, sink in, drop in, I ask my questions, and I wait. And then I come out with the answer. And so if you're looking for your information outside of yourself, you're not going to find it very well. I'm hoping to give you some good teachings about what I have found personally. But any information must be validated through your own experience, your own discernment. So make sure that you use your good old-fashioned common sense, please. Anything that I say that doesn't suit you, that's fine. Put it on a shelf beside you. And those things that resonate with you, that means you're ready for that information. But don't throw everything out, because I have really pure teachings that I have seen transform people's lives in very significant ways. Simple little tweaks in your life can make such a huge difference. Creation is reverse engineering your imagination. Just think about that. Creation is reverse engineering your imagination. This is one of the teachings I received just in the last week. Manifesting is pushing power to your imagination, to what you imagine. Manifesting is pushing power to what you imagine. So now, if you can imagine and reverse engineer your imagination and push power to it, then you've got something exciting going on. Because you know why? You are the writer, the director, the producer, and the actor in this unfolding experience called your life on planet Earth. Your choices, actions, and inactions influence this consensus reality to good or ill. So make your life count. This is your time. I'm here to teach you now. I have been in hiding my entire life with my inner guides and my inner teachers. I thought this was normal for everyone. I didn't realize that other people didn't sit in meditation and have teachers come up and show up and teach them. They could ask questions and go out-of-body travel. I thought everyone did this. It wasn't really until I was in my early 30s. And in my early 30s, I was in an Edgar Cayce study group. And I realized at that time that not everybody got the information that I got. And I'm here to teach you how to get your own information now. I had a whole curriculum set up for this first sessions of classes that I am going to teach you right now. And this morning when I came in to do filming, it all went away. Because they want me to teach you in the way they have taught me. They call themselves the teachers. And this is what the teachers always have me do. Master one thing. And what is that one thing? Surrender. If your cup is always so full with information and you're a know-it-all and you have all the information, there's no room to add into your cup. So when I do my sinking in, my pulling back away from that world, and I'm coming into my heart space and my central channel, and I'm on the out-breath sinking my attention down to my lower dantian, and I'm going and connecting with the earth, I move into the stillness. And so that's the first thing that I need to teach you how to do, is move into the stillness. So you don't go seeking information out there. You go seeking information in there. The first thing that I will teach you is how to go in. If you ever seek your information out, then you have to run it through the discernment of your heart. You need to run it through the common sense of your mind and your own personal experience. I've actually, in the last maybe 3 weeks or so, they've been sending me information through that is saying that you will have no other gods before me. Do you remember that from the Bible? You will have no other gods before me. And then they have added this, you will have no other gods before me except your own personal experience, your own common sense, and the discernment of your heart. You have to have your own personal sovereignty, your own personal inner sanctuary, and you must guard that no matter what. The true teaching on this is to have an open mind, questioning mind, discerning heart. That makes so much more sense, doesn't it? So make sure you shut your barn doors and you have your own sovereignty, because if you don't shut your barn doors, how are you going to hear spirit? How are you going to hear your higher guidance? How are you going to hear your higher self? If you are truly in your heart pod, seriously, it looks like a heart pod, looks like a big egg. When you're seriously and truly in your heart pod, no matter what anybody says to you, you know it's a reflection of them. It's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. And so, if you don't make an agreement to it, how can it hurt you? Agreements are only things that can hurt you if you make an agreement to it. So, go through your closet in your mind and in your emotions. That's your assignment for this week. Go through your mind, your emotions, your memories, and really think through what kind of agreements you made. Think about how you hold yourself back. Are you holding yourself back? Or is it because you made an agreement that you couldn't do something? Because through the course of this training, you're going to find out that miracles abound easily when you follow law, and I'm here to teach you law. So how do you get healthy boundaries? Well, there's a really cool meditation that came to me when I asked about this, and it's a crossed circle meditation. So in this crossed circle, it's called the heart garden. And in the very center is your own sovereignty. It looks like a glowing white, clear white, translucent, sometimes iridescent egg shape. And this is your soul. This is the housing for your soul. And it goes down into the heart chakra and it goes up into the chest area. And the spirits call this the soul chamber. And this is why you want to bring people to your chest up here, because it's all connected into the heart chakra going up into the chest. And that's why it feels like this is the biggest energy center that we have, but it's not talked about very much. And I have a feeling it's not talked about because it's either hidden information or people don't know. And so it hasn't gotten into the literature yet. So for you, in this meditation, this crossed circle meditation, you've got 4 quadrants. And you have the walls on the outside. So take a moment, close your eyes, Imagine this crossed circle, and in the center, I want you to see your round, if you're looking at it from above, it's going to look round. But if you're looking at it from the side, it's going to look egg-shaped. Now, I want you to go to the outside walls, and I want you to make sure that you close your barn doors so that you don't have anyone else influencing you, that you can just totally and purely hear your own inner guidance. And who cares if it hurts somebody's feelings? That's not your issue. Oh, I don't want to tell my mom no. I don't want to tell my dad no. I don't want to tell my husband or my wife or my spouse or my partner. I don't want to tell them no. Well, if you're going to serve your ego, then that's fine. But if you want to serve spirit and you want to serve a higher purpose here, close those barn doors. You need to do it. It's essential that you do it. So go and look along the walls. You want impenetrable walls on your heart garden, because this is the place where you assess you. Now, when you look at your crossed circle heart garden image here, the top, let me see, I have to orient for you guys. Your top left, the top left is your emotional center. Oftentimes, that's where you're most likely to find the walls down. And if you're codependent at all, if you're a rescuer, if your earth energies are out of balance and you give too much and it's hard for you to receive, you're going to need to go fix those walls. So go do that now. The rest of you, just strengthen all of the walls. Now, in your heart garden, on the bottom left, so emotion is top left, on the bottom left quadrant, you have your mind. Now the mind is, remember monkey mind when you're trying to find the stillness? The monkey mind is there, and it'll show up in all different kinds of images. It might show up as any kind of chaos. So one person had a jungle there, and there were so many vines that it was choking off the jungle. So he had to go in and clean up the vines, make some room in the jungle, and all of a sudden when he came out of the meditation, he was changed. He felt differently. He felt clear in his mind. So when you do inner work, it will reflect in your outer world. If you try to fix things from the outer world, it doesn't work. It only works if you go into your inner place, make the shift, make the change, and then it shows up in your outer world. So go in now, check your bottom left quadrant, which is the mental, your intellect. Some people have it as a messy desk or an organized desk, a messy farm or an organized farm. So I'll give you a minute now to do this. And while you do it, I'm going to do the same thing. So mine is looking like a library, and I had some bookshelves tipped over that were starting to find their balance again. And the books were reversing and going back up on the shelves. So you can spend more time on this, and I actually encourage you to do this meditation every day in order to get your system in a really good place. Now, let's go to the top right. The top right is your physical body. Always in this quadrant, there's a tree. And then whatever else is going to be in there is different from person to person. But there is always a tree, and it's a big, healthy tree, and this represents you. And I don't want you to only think about the tree itself, but go, as the part that you can see, go also and check the roots. There was a woman who was having a very difficult time with finances, and when she went to go look, a sword had cut through all of her roots, and so she couldn't pull the energy up in order to make a difference. And so go check your roots. Make sure you say hello to all the mycelium that there is down there and the deep roots. Make sure there's nothing in your way. Make sure your branches are healthy. So go check your tree now. And if you get your roots deep enough, and if you connect with the earth deep enough, you might start connecting to some of the earth spirit guardians. So wherever you live or wherever you primarily do your meditation work with, make sure that you go in and connect in with the spirits of the land. So have your roots go deep into the land, wherever you're at. And greet the spirits of the land. Okay, so know that you can come back and spend as much time as you want on this, and I absolutely encourage you to do this. Now we're going to go to the emotion again, the top left. So go there, and this is typically, it may not be for you, but it is typically a field or a meadow of flowers. And this will give you information about yourself. If you are not emotionally nourished, your flowers will be wilted. You might be filled with weeds. It might be a few flowers, but what we're looking for is an abundance of flowers here. And let me tell you a little bit about emotional health. You only need to have one person in your life that loves you unconditionally. Oftentimes, for people who have been in abused relationships and family situations, there's this ideal that your parents are going to love you, and that is oftentimes not the case. But right now, it doesn't matter, because I want to show you how to link up directly to Source. When you get your nourishment directly from Source, and that pushes out to nourish you, then no matter the people who come and go in your life, it doesn't matter anymore. They come and they go, and it allows you to dance in this experience of life so that you're not tied down to people. You don't make excuses for yourself any longer. Oh, nobody loves me. Well, who cares if nobody loves you? You love you. That's the only thing that matters. You love you. And you learn to connect to that deep inner radiant, that egg shape that's inside of us that carries our soul. For me, it looks like it's a pulsing light. And so it is pulsing unconditional love to you all the time, 24/7. It is the truest aspect of who you are. So allow yourself to connect in with this pulsing golden light. Not golden, white light. It's white, translucent, shimmering. You'll find out. The more, for those of you particularly who are clairvoyant, you'll be able to see and see what it looks like. Sometimes it's pulsing just the softest little pink. Sometimes more, it's a little bit of like a yellow light in there. It'll be different for all of you, but it is like looking at the sun, but it's radiating out love to you all the time. So if you put your emotional attachments to people, places, and things outside of you, those are all transient. So emotionally, I want you to go into your heart garden and connect in with that center egg and make sure that you have all of your lines connected to your true self, right deep in your center. Detach it from everybody in your life and attach it here into the center and allow that light now and that unconditional love to flow to you, and you will see the nourishment coming by the transformation in your heart garden, in the emotional quadrant in the top left. So I'm going to give you a minute now to let this all happen and unfold for you. Make sure you push it all the way back to the wall. You want the flowers thick, vibrant, lush. Good, that's feeling good. Okay, some of you are starting to do this already. You're starting to link up the top right, your physical, directly to source, and I was seeing some of you already linking up your bottom left, which is the mental, directly into source energy, right in the center. That is wonderful. Now just take a nice deep breath on this. I can feel how this is already shifting you. Good. That is excellent. So now you may be curious as to what the bottom right is. This is, how would I call this? It's the communication quadrant to your soul. This is your intuition. This is, I used to call it the soul quadrant because it really is the soul extending out into your life as you allow it. Now, sometimes what happens is that if people don't have very much inner influence and soul in their life, that quadrant will actually be smaller. So assess yours. Is it bigger than? Is it the same as? Or is it smaller? And if it's too small, that means your ego is way more in control than you are. And so your true self. So push it out so that it's nice and as big as the others. And then typically what people see in this quadrant is swirling iridescent colors, kind of like the aurora borealis in pastel colors. So I'll give you a minute now to connect with your intuition, with this soul quadrant. For those of you who are clairaudient, listen for the music. You can hear the songs of your soul. It's very refined. Every breath is a centering breath and a sinking down and letting go breath. The more information that you want, the more you go out of your body, you can't get anything. So you have to breathe in, sink it down, and surrender. And then you empty your cup. So it creates a vacuum for more information to come in. That's how you do your communication, your inner communication. You can't just say, I want it, give it to me. That's the ego. That's you being a child in a childish way. It's not like that. Now, when you sink in, now you can become demanding. You sink in, whoa, and then you can put to your intuition, to that fourth quadrant. This is what information that I want to know. And then that soul quadrant takes that information into your egg, into your soul aspect, where there is no time, there is no space. There's only space and time out here. When you go in to 0 point, into the center of that soul, there is no time and space. So you can travel time here, you can travel anywhere here. You can travel out of body by going through and out. You don't go out, you go through and out when you want to travel the dimensions. So that means that your soul has access to information in any space-time, other worlds, other dimensions. Your soul has access to that. So when you have a question, you go in, you go over to that heart quadrant, over in your soul quadrant. This is what I want to know. And then you just let it go, and you wait, and you wait. And it comes trickling in one drop at a time. Sometimes it may take weeks to get information. Sometimes it may take years to get information. Keep asking the question. Keep expecting the answer, because it will come. It will come to you. Now reassess again. You're in all the walls. Make sure there's no breaks in the walls. Make sure that all 4 of your quadrants are fully linked up with your soul, your true self. Remember, the teaching is that I will have no other gods before me than my own experience, my own common sense, and the discernment of my heart. And the discernment of my heart means that there's a resonance for it. So some things just feel true. When things don't feel true to your system, for me, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. I don't know what it is for you, but you need to know what your truth and what your non-truth sound or feeling is within you. I'm always talking about sound because I hear things as like what truth for me is ding. It's just this beautiful, pure chime that just goes on and on and on. Then I know I'm in the presence of truth. But when I don't have truth, it feels uncomfortable in my body. My body is resisting, or fingernails, particularly fingernails on the chalkboard feeling. So know what your truth and your non-truth is. That's the discernment in your heart. Now, some of you, I'm feeling, are not allowing your emotional center to be filled up. So some of that, I'm just looking at it here. Some of it is, let me just sink in to get a whole list of things. All right, well, here's the first one. You have to be open to receive. If you're going to put the floodgates on, I'm not worthy, that's your ego. That's some agreement that you made. So take that agreement out of your software program, and over here, you've got a garbage can. Just put it in the garbage can for that to be recycled. That's all it is an agreement. What makes you less worthy than the next person next to you or anybody? That's just craziness. But at the emotional level, it might feel really real to you. So I have a song for you. The spirits had taught me a song about how there is so much abundance in the world. There is so much here for all of you. And yet, we're not open to receive. So a song came to me. I am open to receive, I am open to receive, I am open to receive. Fill in the blank. So I say love, because everything is ultimately a love vibration. I am open to receive, I am open to receive, I am open to receive love. So then I started running into people like what I'm seeing here in this quadrant, in the emotional quadrant. Not open to receive. And oftentimes, you are the people who are stuck in your emotional center, which is your solar plexus. You think it's the heart, you think it's love, but I can tell you it's not love. Love is a very neutral feeling in the heart. When you're in your emotional polarities, those are in your solar plexus. And in that solar plexus, you get these hooks that you hook into you and throw lines out to other people. So if you have these emotional hooks and agreements, that means you have made gods out of whoever you have thrown those hooks to. So if you are going to be your most authentic self, how can you be your most authentic self when in your emotional body, you're looking for approval from everyone? You have to give up looking for approval from anyone except your own true self. That is a biggie. So then the people in this also are just too much of givers. Well, look at everything I do for you and you don't appreciate it. Well, maybe you're giving a little too much. Are you doing things for people that they should be doing for themselves? That's called codependence. Not healthy for you. But this is how I define my life. So define your life differently then. Define your life in a more balanced way. So there was a new song that came as a result of me seeing people that were too much givers, too much service, and it's out of balance. So when you're out of balance, this is what it looks like. It's like trying to breathe in and only ever breathe in. So breathe in and don't breathe out until I tell you to. So I'm going to continue on now, but in my classes, I have people do that. And pretty soon people are bursting out and they're giggling. It's like, yeah, this is a breathing universe. It's a breathing in and a letting go. Everything is a breathing in and a letting go. A breathing in and a letting go. So if you're only a giver, you're only breathing in, and pretty soon you're going to start getting sick. You're going to start getting resentful. It doesn't work. So this is your song. So sing it along with me. I am open to receive, equal to my giving. I am open to receive, equal to my giving. I am open to receive, equal to my giving. I am open to receive, equal to my giving. Sing it. Open to receive, equal to my giving. I am open to receive, equal to my giving. I am open to receive, equal to my giving. I am open to receive, equal to my giving. This week, that might be some of your assignments for those of you that it's appropriate for. And I believe that is our lessons for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Ellie Drew, your clairvoyant researcher, and I'll see you again.